I'ma feel like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the shit show. I want to say thank you to Old School Yankee for stepping in tonight and joining Ruben and I because Orange Hat had other things he had to take care of. So I just want to say thank you very much for that. And I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend, even though there's a lot of shit that's always going on. But you want to say hi?
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Hello. Thank you guys for joining me for another shit show. But I'm going to start off with a video that I thought was so cute when I saw it, and I thought it would really, brighten everybody's mood before we start getting into some deep shit.
So, there's a lot of deep shit to get into.
Let me bring this up here. I think it's really cute. Where is it? This one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, have you guys seen this? This is a little boy, and he reenacts the whole scene with Bruce Lee in this movie, and he's not even watching the screen. He's watching the camera. So watch this kid. Oh, my God, he's so cute. Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh, this makes my heart melt. He is so adorable.
I don't see cute. I see badassery.
Oh, but he's just a tiny kid. I think he's like 8. But I watched it like 10 times. It was so adorable. Oh, it's made me.
Real quick, have you seen the one? I don't know if it's the same kid, but it's an Asian kid. He's playing the blues. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was cute.
That was cute. Send me that, and I will. I played a couple weeks ago. I played a boy that joined a band. He said, "Can I play guitar with you?" And he was playing the guitar, kicking ass. I mean, he was so good. But I love to, just do stuff like that, because it just shows that there's still kids out there. They're going to be badass when they grow up. It's great. I mean, that's what America's for. It's to make heroes out of all our kids, and one day they'll be the heroes over all the other grown-ups. But I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So hi, Jackie. Thank you for stopping in. Baby girl, hi. Six Nations. Brandy, hi, Brandy. Kenny, thank you for coming. And Soy Based Jeremy, I see him in here right now. And now I can't see who's over on Rumble right now. I'm sorry. I don't have that opened up yet. I'll try to open it here in a minute. But I just want to say thank you to everybody still for stopping in. And I want to start out with this first video or information that I was able to get. So here we go. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to make it a little bigger and push play.
Breaking this hour, New York Times reporting donors have told the largest pro-Biden super PAC that roughly $90 million in pledges are now frozen if Biden remains at the top of the ticket. But this may only be the beginning. Reports claim a coordinated Democratic rebellion is set to unfold during a brutal 48-hour stretch for Biden. An 18th Democrat lawmaker just called for Biden's exit 90 minutes ago. Now we're learning that President Biden privately met with White House Minority Leader Jeffries after his solo press conference last night, where he made several embarrassing mistakes on the world stage. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, he did make some embarrassing mistakes. He's embarrassing, period. I was in a group today. You know, I love to do spaces. And I went in, it was a bunch of people from England, and they were laughing their ass off at our president. It's so humiliating to sit there. And I laughed along with them because everything they said was fact, you know, but it's so embarrassing. And I was like, yeah, I know it sucks. I didn't vote for him. That's what I kept telling him. I did not vote for this man. And I am embarrassed too. So, but I'm telling you, we are the laughing stock of the world right now with this idiot in chief in office. I can tell you that. So you guys have a comment on what we just saw about them pulling their money out?
We saw what we're seeing is an actual, no kidding, shit show.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
On an international level. I mean, laughing stock is. I can't believe what this can't be our reality. This can't be happening. It's a Twilight Zone with no explanation.
It's like we're in a what was those shows? You know, like Big Brother. You know, where they had the cameras hidden around, and you're looking around going, "Is this reality or am I on a TV show or something?"
You have to remember.
Remember that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer created that fake set and Jerry comes onto it and he's like looking around like, what the hell's happening right now? It's like the Truman Show, but really bad and not this is not good. I'm at a loss for fucking words because it's just too much to take in. It's Alice in Wonderland shit. It's unbelievable.
Well, Ruben, what were you going to say a few minutes ago?
Well, I was going to say that remember 4 years ago where we were in regards to the election and the fact that they knew back in March timeframe, even with the pandemic, the way they were doing it, that they couldn't win. So they basically ratcheted up the lockdowns and then they went ahead and enabled mail-in ballots all over the place and made some changes because of, trying to keep the election secure. Now, what they're going to do this time is two scenarios can happen. The first scenario is that over the weekend something happens, and then when Trump is nominated, Biden decides to not run. He's not going to step down. He's just not going to run. And that's going to, yeah, he can do that. He can just basically.
What will happen?
Then if he sees it's not to run, then it's open to it's an open primary. and they're going to tout the idea of how important to democracy when primary is.
Okay, but the thing is, they already had their primary.
No, but they picked the people to be the delegates. The way that the Democratic Party works, they have delegates and they have super delegates. Those delegates don't have that much power. The super delegates have more power and actually can change their vote. That's why when 2016, when Bernie was supposed to be the nominee, they gave to Hillary because they did a deal at the convention. The same thing will happen then. So the likely scenario is that he will not resign. He will just not run. And then he will leave it to the will of the people for the sake of democracy to do this. And he'll be touted as a hero for doing that.
Right.
Okay. Now what happens though? Then what will it be? Camilla that steps up and they pick someone else to be VP? Or it's going to
be the will. It's the will of the people now. They're going to basically, it's a full bore press, and they're going to convince people to basically be the bread and circuses like the gladiators. That let's do this. Let's do the nomination. The Democratic convention is going to be fantastic. We're going to be out here. We're going to be fighting for each different vote. It's all a show. And the thing is that remember, I said delegates and super delegates. The super delegates are actually like the senators, the governors. They go in there and they do the shenanigans, and they will figure out a way to get it done. So it'll be a whole time frame from when he announces that he's not going to be the nominee to then for them to just ramp up the full bore stew again to get the word out, and to basically then it's no longer going to be. Because here's the thing. If you are running the Democratic campaign right now, your biggest liability is Biden. So if you basically take Biden out and Harris, and it doesn't matter about Harris because it's basically he's not stepping down. He's just not going to run. So then all the focus then turns to this is what Trump's going to do. Any of these candidates can do better. So they're going to basically demonize Trump from here on out and forget about Biden. Because then Trump cannot run, or any Republican can't run on the record of Biden because Biden's gone. It's all about the person coming in, and the person coming in can just basically tout as a fresh face and tout everything is new, fresh, and all that stuff, and then make age an issue for again.
Yeah.
And then they're going to bring down the lockdowns again. And then if they do have some type of like the avian flu or
that's what they're going to do. It's going to be the avian flu.
That would have
them making chicken.
Correct.
A bunch of chicken
correct.
And burn their houses down. Yeah.
And that's why they do it now. So that they do it now so that at the time of when the election begins, then they have to have lockdowns again and they can steal the election again for whoever. So that's what I think. Okay, it's multi-pronged what they're trying to do.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good point of view, I think. So what do you think, Old School Yankee?
Well, your theory is definitely plausible. They're going to, first of all, the fact that the SAVE Act was as we expected, was going to get kicked in the ass. That's their one method of cheating. But here's how you go against all that. The GOP and Trump, I'm hoping, has to have that much better insight, if you will, to tell them this isn't just about Biden. It's about the Democrat Party is what we're running against. So you can take Biden out of there with his shit record, and that you're going to put in another shithead. That's what they do. How do you trust these assholes who I mean, in 2020, when Biden, everyone was saying Biden's not going to get the nominee. Do you remember that? They said Biden's not getting it. There's no way. Look at that guy. He's making gaffe after he was already being made fun of.
Yeah, I know. I was one of them. I was one of the ones making fun of them.
Get it?
Well, not everyone, because there's real people out there that would still vote for him.
Well, yeah, no, they're not real people. They're. I'm not going to go there.
Well, I've talked to people. I've talked to real people that said they'd vote for him. So there are people, living and breathing people that would vote for Biden.
I don't call them people, but anyway, my thing is that they put this idiot in the basement because they knew he was a fucking liability. Okay.
Yeah.
And yet still, so if you're going to replace one turd with one that has a better optics, that's the best you got. The platform is what they got to go after. The Democrat platform is pure poison and antithetical, anathema to American liberty and freedom, and that is what they got to focus on. Just because you took out stupid asshole corrupt, numbnuts here with dementia, doesn't mean you can even put the polished used car salesman from fucking California, that prick, who I remember the first time I ever saw Gavin Newsom in an interview on Nightline or Dateline or some shit, and I'm like, this guy's a smarmy motherfucker. Like, I just wanted to punch him.
Yeah, but the thing is, what Ruben said about putting it in the hands of the people, that's basically kind of what I was saying last week when I said they're going to try to set it up, and they're going to make, by throwing them under the bus, like I've been saying, they're making the people, the Democrat people, saying, wow, we got to do something. This guy's in bad shape, and leaving it to the people to complain to their senators and their congressmen and their representatives, and then say, we got to do something. We got to get rid of Biden. That's what you're starting to see. More and more people speaking out, saying, yeah, we got to pull our money. We can't back him. It makes us look like stupid asses. So even though there's another stupid ass that's going to step up, at least they're not drooling on themselves, falling up and down stairs, and pooping their pants. Okay.
And it's like I said, it's all about the optics for them. But if they made it about the people, then they wouldn't have screwed over Bernie Sanders with the whole super delegate.
No, not then. He's talking about right now.
I know that, but my point is they never. That's where you exploit that. They need to get back to that and discuss how they've been cheating in your damn face. What makes you think they're going to be fucking honest now after they've been telling you he's perfectly okay, and then all of a sudden this debate comes through and oh no, he's a mess. Really? That's kind of schizoid.
Well, see,
that's what Trump has to jump on top of. He has to.
Yeah, Trump does. But what we're talking about is what the Democrats are going to do.
Oh,
and what Ruben said, I think is genius on their part, because they always stick together. Okay, you're going to have a group of them. They're going to sit down. They're going to figure this out and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And they're all going to be in lockstep together. You just wait and see. They're going to do everything step by step by step, no matter how mad they're
doing it now.
That's what I'm saying.
Right now.
And they're fighting to get rid of Biden and make themselves look like they give a shit.
The two talking points they always had was Trump is racist and Trump is Hitler. Okay,
and now
it's
felon.
And now,
he wants to take women's rights away, which is true.
Women's rights away, and then the new one that's out there is this Project 2025, which is hilarious because it's a heritage project thing that they put together, and the Heritage Project, the Cato Institute, and then the thing is that it's not even in the level of like an NGO, which is it's a think tank. It's what they're trying to do, and they're just doing something. But again, they're trying to scare people, like the whole Handmaid's Tale crap that they're going to keep you up and like for breeding and bullshit like that. It's just insane when they are the ones that are demanding all this stuff. Again, if you're providing health services for a woman and it includes murdering a child as an option, what's the difference between giving it to the state's opinion to do that or your opinion to do that? You are still killing somebody. It's insane. It's insanity at the highest order. But like I said, what's going to happen is now, like I said, on Monday or during the week of the Republican National Convention, they will do this. If they don't do it, then there's something else they're doing, because you had Valerie Jarrett, you had Ron Klain, you had all those Obama people, the old Obama people that were running, that were actually running the show. So this is Obama's third term per se. So then any of those out there are out there. They could get Hillary in there too. You never know. Shit. Make Hillary Secretary of State. Get Blinken out.
So
who knows?
Wasn't she already Secretary of State for Obama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think they'll give her a different position this time. So I'm trying to think about what's the one that they give lawyers besides that. besides that one?
Attorney General.
Attorney General. That's what they're going to give her.
That's Merrick
If they
Garland.
win, that's what they want.
Dude.
No, they'll get rid of Garland. Garland's already got like big sores on his ass right now from some of the dumb decisions he did because he was licking Biden's ass. I'll say it that way, because
Right.
that's both of them. But I think both of you guys have some insight on what I think is going to happen with this whole mess, because I've been saying since last year that they're chucking them, and little by little they've been picking at it. I don't know who it is, but somebody on the inside has been slowly picking and fixing it to where Biden's going to get chucked. Okay, because they're letting all the information come out little by little. And now they know.
So here's the issue, though, Janet, and you brought up a great point there about the mechanism that they may use, because they're desperate right now. They are damned if they do, damned if they don't. Now, I'm not trying to lowball this. This is bad all around, because regardless of what happens, we're looking at shit show chaos to the nth degree in the next couple of months. What the Democrats have foisted upon us with this asshole so-called president, and what because of it now we've come to incur this situation of utter madness. We have to deal with the stupidity that because of this shit. But here's the deal. I was listening to somebody on the radio who made a very good point. If they really don't have anybody else since 2020 other than Biden right now. If you have Kamala Harris, she is just as unpopular and hated. If you remove her, you're going to offend the African American community. She's the first black woman, this, that, and the other. So if you remove her for a white anybody, that's a problem. There's going to be a massive, this is like watching the gorilla exhibition at the San Diego Zoo, like I did one time, throwing shit at each other. This is what's going to happen at the Democrat Party. Quite honestly, good. Fuck them. Unfortunately, we're tethered to all this shit to some degree or another, because somehow they're still part of our country. So we're kind of stuck to this anchor. This anchor goes down, we go down with it for a second. Even if Trump wins, regardless of what happens, be prepared for some crazy shit. They have done this to themselves, and unfortunately, they're bringing us along for the fucking party.
Yep, for sure. Yep, I just can't wait to see. I mean, I'm just waiting to find out what they're going to do, what their plans are, because I've been saying all along, I don't think that Biden is going to be running in November. He won't be on the ticket. I still believe in my gut that Biden won't be on there, and I don't know who's going to be on there. I have no idea who they're going to whip out, because you got to remember, at the very last minute, they whipped Obama out on Hillary. At the very last minute, and they whipped Hillary out on Bernie Sanders. Basically, he got over. Yep. So they're gonna fuck over.
Just keep on watching. Keep on watching on who the vibe of the media is for the next person, because they're going to basically start touting it there. Who will replace him? What will he be doing? They'll start doing is speculating. And what they're going to start speculating is, it's not the news media speculating. It's the people that in power speculating, putting it out there. And they have all these different outlets doing it. So they're going to basically just put stick their finger in and put up in the wind and find out what's going to happen. They just want to be in power and stay in power.
Yeah, and even if it's because just like I was saying last week, I think a little bit, I was saying that they've got to do something, and they can't wait too long, because the longer they wait, this is hurting all the people in the Democratic tickets on all the states that are running.
They have no Obama. They have no Clinton. They have no they have no person with gravitas that can rally anybody right now. They have nothing. Yeah,
so they got
AOC does not do this. That anybody in the squad doesn't do it. Nothing.
Yeah, we can't blame this guy. He's running for Senate. He's doing this, or he's our state representative. He has nothing to do with Biden, and his point of view is different. He doesn't agree with Biden, blah, blah, blah. So if they can do that, then it can help them get those people in there. But they know that they need to take the Senate over. They need the Senate, because if Trump wins, they got to have more votes in the Senate than the Republicans do, even though there's too many Republicans in there right now that are rhinos that are going to, just like what happened. What was it yesterday that they voted not to get rid of the Mayorkas or whatever?
Garland.
Who was Garland? I mean, yeah. Garland.
Yeah.
They didn't vote him out or didn't
Garland.
get rid of him or get him in trouble because we have too many rhinos. The rhinos are sucking Biden's dick just like the rest of them. So, you know, we got to get more decent people, real true conservatives in office, and I think we'll be able to do that with Trump, because he's going to help pull a lot of these people over the finish line, just like he did with dumbass from Florida, whatever his name is. I can't remember right this second. You know, he the one who tried to run for president and ruin Trump. You know? DeSantis, the dumbass, that wears lifts in his shoes and shit. But that guy, okay. Sorry, I can't help it. I think he's a total asshole. For what he did to Trump was wrong. Okay, that was a backstab, and he doesn't deserve it to be on his cabinet or anything. I hope he picks Ben Carson as his attorney general. That would be a great position for Ben Carson for Trump. I think he'd do great at it. So the thing is that he's got some good people to select for his cabinet this time that I think will be there for him and not be. From day one, he had spies in there. He had backstabbers just stabbing him away, and he still got. Look how much he got done. Just imagine what Trump will be able to do if he has a team that's all in 100%. They want to kick some ass and clean house.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll just say that the other thing I did before I didn't start to interrupt, but the thing I wanted to basically see, the second scenario, the nightmare scenario, is some black swan event happening right before the election that causes a lockdown, causes balloting.
Yeah.
And the things that are happening, the bridge, the airports, you know, the chickens, you know, the burning of different things. It could just be as simple as the day of the election, that the cell service goes down, internet goes down completely,
or a bunch of power grids go down.
Boom. I think they're.
I'm just saying, 10 million people have come over the border since Biden has been president. Okay, we don't know if they're from.
Because you have to remember that the end of October is still hurricane season. They could turn on HARP and do something horrifically bad that causes something to go out for months.
Did you hear people are saying that a lot of these? I'm not to get on a side note here, but
the hurricanes are being set up by
no. Well, I was going to talk about you talking about the invasion, and these people are being asked. There's a lady in like Arizona. Oh, she's down by the border there, San Diego, and there are people going right by her backyard, and they're saying that we're going to camp to train. That's what she's saying, and she's like, they're not even. Most of them aren't even like Hispanic or Central.
There was a we had on the shit show about 2 months ago, I guess, an episode with Tucker, and he talked about the different camps. There's 2 different camps on just over the border, and one of them is filled with Chinese warriors over there training and stuff to come over the border. So I'm just saying, we got some nefarious people in, and we also have a government right now that's sending them from one state to another on our tax dollars. So we're up a shit creek right now with that mess. But let me get to the next thing. This one's pretty good.
Because you have to remember, we're still in the infancy of the internet age. People are still following old news. So when you're saying old school Yankee, what? People, that's the same thing. People don't know that the Darien Gap is so dangerous out there. They have these Chinese nationals coming in there, people from, Iraq, Turkestan, Indonesia coming through in Iraq, Iran, all that stuff. It's crazy.
I know it really is scary. And look how many people that just criminals, because they've opened up their jails and their insane asylums and let people out and just said, go that way. And they left, and here they are. They're here now.
Venezuela is a prime example. Those punks are they're getting brazen, and supposedly they've been smuggling firearms into New York City.
Yeah, well, I believe it. I believe they smuggled a lot worse than that. But this is another good little thing I want everybody to listen to. He is in front of Congress, so let's listen to Ben Shapiro.
We're in the midst of a trust crisis in the world of media, which is because so many in the legacy media have lied in order to preserve left-leaning narratives. To take just the most recent example, we were told by the legacy media that President Biden was just fine. For years, anyone who questioned his health and mental fitness was trafficking in cheap fakes. And then President Biden went out and engaged in a full-scale mental collapse on stage in front of hundreds of millions of people. So we can see why Americans, at least Americans who are not Democrats, do not trust the media. The question isn't really why the legacy media have lost Americans' trust. We know that answer. The question is why, despite that loss of trust, the legacy media continue to gain share in the advertising market. And the answer is simple. There is, in fact, an informal pressure system created by Democratic legislators, this White House, legacy media, advertisers, and pseudo-objective brand safety organizations. That system guarantees that advertising dollars flow only to left-wing media brands. Let me explain how this works. When a conservative competitor to the legacy media arises, members of that legacy media and their political allies rush to paint such competitors as dangerous. The commentator Kara Swisher of the New York Times, for example, told the head of YouTube that my videos at Daily Wire were a, quote, gateway drug that would lead children, including her own teenage son, to watch neo-Nazi content. Never mind the yarmulke. Elected Democrats pick up that same messaging. In 2017, Senator Dianne Feinstein told lawyers at Facebook, Google, and Twitter, quote, you created these platforms and now they're being misused, and you have to be the ones to do something about it, or we will. Social media companies react to incentive structures, including threats. They've responded by adopting the standards of third-party left-wing informational safety groups like the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, or GARM. GARM purportedly sets brand safety standards, objective standards by which advertisers and platforms can supposedly determine just what sort of content ought to be deemed safe for advertising. In reality, GARM acts as a cartel. Its members account for 90% of ad spending in the United States, almost $1 trillion. In other words, if you're not getting ad dollars from GARM members, it's nearly impossible to run an ad-based business. And if you're not following their preferred political narratives, the ones that Kara Swisher and Dianne Feinstein would follow, you will not be deemed brand safe. Your business will be throttled. We at Daily Wire have experienced this firsthand. In 2017, after Senator Feinstein made her threats to bring the weight of government down on social media platforms, Daily Wire YouTube channel saw a 1,000% increase in content enforcements over a 2-year period. Since 2021, after Democrat officials further turned up the heat on social media companies, my personal Facebook page has seen an over 80% drop in impressions. Or take Joe Rogan. When Joe said that he had taken ivermectin after getting COVID, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki pressured Spotify to take action, stating, quote, we want every platform to be doing more to call out mis and disinformation while also uplifting accurate information. Spotify complied. Spotify, of course, works with GARM. So what are the brand safety standards that GARM uses? The standards begin with inarguable things that we've heard from the other witnesses, like preventing distribution of child sexual abuse material or stopping terrorism. But GARM doesn't draw the line at what is criminal, abusive, or dangerous. Their standards also include restrictions on hate speech, harassment, misinformation, or my personal favorite, insensitive, irresponsible, and harmful treatment of debated, sensitive social issues. Those criteria are highly subjective in theory, and they are purely partisan in practice. For example, last year, Daily Wire host Matt Walsh was fully demonetized on YouTube, a GARM member. Why? For quote-unquote misgendering, which to GARM is to say that men are not women. Perfectly obvious facts now run afoul of GARM's censorship standards. Companies targeted by GARM, like the Daily Wire, Breitbart, Fox News, and so many others, reach hundreds of millions of people with opinions and beliefs long established as within the mainstream of American conservative thought. GARM and its members have no respect for the beliefs of those people. They would like them marginalized or squashed. It's time to stand up for the First Amendment in this Congress. Congress can do so in 2 ways. First, Congress must investigate the informal and perhaps formal arrangements between censorship cartels like GARM and executive branch agencies. The Daily Wire has already filed a federal lawsuit against the State Department for allegedly doing just this. Second, Congress can itself stop engaging in violation of free speech principles. Weeks ago, writing in dissent in Murphy versus Missouri, Justice Alito condemned what he called sophisticated and coercive government campaigns against free speech. Members of this committee have engaged in precisely such campaigns. When Congressman Schiff speaks about targeting social media companies that must be, quote, pulled and dragged into this era of corporate responsibility because they are too tolerant of misinformation, he knows what he is doing. He is participating in a sophisticated coercive campaign against free speech. When Congresswoman Jayapal blames social media for placing America at the, quote, precipice of a democratic crisis and calls on them to target they deem hate groups, she also knows what she is doing. She is participating in a sophisticated coercive campaign against free speech. When Congressman Hank Johnson says, quote, we need a constitutional amendment to allow the legislature to control the so-called free speech rights of corporations, he also knows what he is doing. We all know what these government actors, what some people in this room are doing. You're using the tacit threat of government action to compel private companies to throttle viewpoints you don't particularly like. The First Amendment was not designed to enable workarounds by elected official. It was directed at Congress, at you, and you're abdicating your fundamental duty when you exert pressure on private companies to censor speech. Some in this room have been doing just that for years. We in the non-legacy media have been feeling the effects. In the name of the Constitution and in the name of democracy, this should stop.
There you go. Well, what do you guys think about it? What he was saying about what they've been doing to free speech, basically for conservatives compared to liberals. Have you noticed that? Has that happened to you?
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry.
I know. I saw you were talking. Barely. Are you talking? Go ahead.
No, I saw his hand over his mouth, so I didn't know he was speaking. But.
No, yeah, absolutely. What you said, Janet. There was a lot to take in there, but the one about that really struck me is the one about Spotify with Joe Rogan. That was his red pill, if not black pill, moment in which he kind of started scratching his head and go, "Oh, wait a minute!" And he was a Bernie Sanders guy, and he started asking questions, and no, he started going out coloring outside the lines a little. But that one was a very telling one. The Spotify thing, trying to intimidate him, and him telling him basically to, good for him. He stood his ground and said, "Oh, go fuck yourself." Then again, Joe Rogan's kind of a tough guy. But yes, all of that stuff that he said, very true, very accurate.
Yeah, I thought it was. People usually hate listening to him speak. I mean, it is hard for me sometimes to listen to him because he's got that nasally, I don't know what it is, but he is irritating sometimes. But listening to him talk about that, every single thing he said was true, basically. All my friends on YouTube, if you're conservative, you've been throttled, like me. I said some things about pedophile instead of saying minor attracted persons, and I got a strike. And then I put a video up for 7.5 minutes about Comet Ping Pong, all stuff that's been out forever. Okay, that's how I got it. I'm not a journalist. I didn't go into their house and open file cabinets and take information out. I took it off the internet, and I made a video and I put it out, and it went up on Rumble, nothing. Went up on X, nothing. But I put it on YouTube, and they gave me a strike. Another one. Then my third strike was when we did the shit show and we did the interview with Tucker, and he was interviewing the Florida Surgeon General. Okay. And they said that was medical misinformation, even though it was the Surgeon General of Florida that was saying it. And I lost my channel for 3 weeks. Okay. So the thing is that whenever we speak against child trafficking, about the way children are being brought over the border, all those different things, or anything else that has to do that goes against the narrative of the left, YouTube and Google don't like you. I mean, they got rid of Parler like that. Remember how Parler was growing and getting big, and more people were going over there? Twitter was hurting because people were leaving Twitter and going to Parler, and they ganged up on Parler.
Yep.
Yeah, that was all part of the coup. That typified what they did on January 6th.
But that's what they're doing to all of us. You,
yes,
Ruben,
exactly.
and me, and you, Old School Yankee, all of us, everyone in this chat of all of us, I'm sure, has been throttled in some way because you speak out against what the left stands for. Okay. Like I said all the stuff that I said about Comet Ping Pong, and they told me I was a cyberbully because I was saying bad things about Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, stuff they said themselves in their emails to each other. And that's considered wrong. Okay. So giving people facts so that you can protect kids, stop your kids from doing certain things, and get the word out so other people's kids don't get hurt too, that's a crime. Because apparently this group of people, the liberals, care more about your feelings than they care about children being raped and tortured or murdered. Okay. That's sad. And I don't care if I'm going to lose my channel. I don't want to, because I want to keep the name Janet from Another Planet. But to me, if I lose it because I speak out against it, then, oh, well, I guess I wasn't meant to have it. That's just the way I see it. And I wish more people cared more for morals and what people thought about you when you turned around and you weren't in the room. Okay. Are they talking bad about you? Oh God, what a wimp. I hate that person because they're such a wimp. They went against this, that, and the other, instead of a person that says, did we see what happened to her? She lost her job because she was fighting for kids. I'd rather them say that shit about me behind my back. So I care about shit like that. I know a lot of people laugh at me because of it, but I don't care. I'm doing this because I do give a shit about my country, and I'll be dead one day. And what am I leaving for my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids one day? What kind of country am I leaving if I didn't even stand up and fight for it? You know, I just said, oh, here you go. I worked hard all my life for this, but I'll let you have it because you guys are just sticking together better than my side. You know, it's stupid. All of this is just ridiculous and disgusting. It just makes me want to kick somebody.
The bottom line here comes down to one thing, and I don't mean to be philosophical, but it comes down to one thing. What are you living for? What are you doing everything that you're doing right now for? If it's for fame and money, and then go on your path, brother. Go on your path. It's going to be a very dark path. You're going to end up not having it fulfilled with that. If you do it out of love and kindness and having fun, then that's going to have so much greater possibilities for you. And that's the whole idea. We're here in the shit show right now. And that's why you have to laugh at this other stuff. Because again, these people on the left right now and the rhinos, basically people, the corporatists, basically, that have run everything. They lead the corporatists. The jig is up. They can't do this anymore. It started their bomb with the pandemic caused us to do two things that we shouldn't have done. Number one, the majority obeyed and locked themselves in. And then the majority also got the jab. Okay, and those are horrifying decisions that they made. But a good portion did not. And a good portion are still fighting every single day for truth, justice. You know, across all platforms. That's why I'm here to point it out. The shit show is very, very difficult. We have to fight every single day for it. That's what we got to do. I hear a cricket.
It's a frog outside my window, but I'm on the second story, so there's nothing I can do about it.
That's fine.
But he sure is liking my window.
I know. I like the little. It's
Kermit or whatever, but
it's Kermit. Just kidding. I'm playing.
Yeah, and he's having a good old time because we've had a lot of rain, so he's liking it. He's like, that puddle over there, ladies. Let's go lay your eggs over there because I'm going to be hopping in there later. Whatever. I don't know how they do it, but I'm pretty sure that's something. It's close to it. But the thing is that it's us, people. Okay. Everyone, well, not everyone. I don't want to lock everybody together, but a lot of people are acting like as soon as Trump gets in, it's all going to be better. Well, it's not. Okay. You and me and everyone else have to fight to help Trump help us. Okay. And once he does that, just like last time, a lot of us, I mean, I'm always been community service. I every time they've asked me, I've gotten to go and try to sign up to work the polls, and I've tried to be on jury duty. I always try to be, and I don't speed. I'm not a person that speeds. I wear my seatbelt. I pay my taxes. I try to be a good person. And because that's what I asked of other people. I say the same thing to other people: be yourself, be good, and hopefully the people that are around you will see you and say, wow, she said, they're such a good person. I want to be more like that. Like I grew up watching my mother. Okay. And I have 4 sisters, and most of us, none of us have been arrested. We're taxpayers. We do the best we can. We're trying to be good moms and good sisters and good daughters. We're trying to do all the good things, the right things, because we had a mother and a father that wanted us to grow up and be good to people. So that's 5 of us. Okay, that's a family. But what about other people that don't have that kind of a stable upbringing? So by us being friends with those people, or acquaintances, like how you and me met, Ruben, on a live stream. Now, see, if I hadn't jumped in to try it out and see if I could do this stuff, I never would have met you. But I'm so thankful I did, because I think you're awesome. And I've enjoyed you, and I've loved seeing your journey through your health and losing your weight and everything that you've been doing. I'm just so proud of you for it. That's why I asked you to be on my show if you wanted to be, because I respect you. I look up to you, and I think that you're smart, and I think you're a great friend. So but that's how I am. And I think I've been the same since you've known me. I think I say the same things and what I think is important, and I try to live that way. But not a lot of people do. Some people say this or that, and then you see them later on, they're drinking and sleeping around or whatever. All the things they said they weren't doing, they're doing it when you're not there. It's like, what's so funny is I laughed at a few people, because I would be at one of my friends' house, and the pastor was coming over, and your mom's running around picking up beer bottles and magazines and stuff. And I was like, what is she doing? She goes, oh, she doesn't want the pastor to see it. And I said, well, Jesus has already seen all of it. Because it was all over the house when I came over this morning. And the mom just looked at me and she went, she just gave me this dirty look, but I was pretty smart, you know what I mean? But the thing is, that's how I look at it. He sees everything you do. So anything you think you're hiding, you're hiding it from another human, but they have no say in anything that's going to happen to you after you're not around, right? So I don't know. That may be stupid, but that's just how I look at stuff. And and I just want people to realize that it's up to us. As soon as we can get something done or anything changes, we have to fight to keep it that way. Just like what's going on right now with the SCOTUS giving it back to the states. Okay. I don't want abortion. The only reason I think a woman should be able to get one is if she's going to die, if she has because like me, I had a tubal pregnancy my very first time. I had horrible cramps. I didn't know what was wrong. And when I went in, they did a little camera and they looked in there, and I had a baby growing in one of my tubes, and it was going to probably kill both of us, because it's not made to grow a baby in there. And so I had to have it taken out, and I cried, and it was devastating for me when I realized that, I wasn't going to have a baby. It was hard, but that's why we do need it. It's not really an abortion. They call it a D&C or whatever. They have to clean everything out or whatever so that you don't get an infection and die from it. But the thing is, so I understand why we need certain things to save people's lives, but that doesn't make it easy on you emotionally. Okay. But that's why you need support of friends and family, people that love you, to be there for that part of the healing that you have to go through. But that's what I believe in it for. So anytime I say it's for the life of the mother, period. That's what I believe in it. So, or rape and incest, because I had one of my good friends, she was I think she was in 6th grade at the time, because I was one grade above her, when she was pregnant by her father. Okay. And she ended up getting an abortion. But it was a horrible thing for the whole family. The dad finally he died of throat cancer. So we were like kind of happy when that happened to him. But it's disgusting. And people don't want to believe that this kind of stuff happens, but it does. It happens every single day. And we need facilities for these people to go to for therapy after they get the person arrested and put in prison or whatever. The person that's been assaulted needs to have the right people around them to help them heal. Because if you don't, most abusers become abusers themselves when they grow up. I hate to say that, but it's a circle. It's a terrible circle. And they either become alcoholics, drug addicts, prostitutes or whatever. Boys and girls. I'm not talking about just girls. Okay. Boys get assaulted too. All you got to do is think about John Wayne Gacy. Okay. People like that. Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay. There's a lot of them. And those are just the ones we know about. There's always active serial killers, rapists, and murderers on a daily basis. And that's a fact of life. And the only thing we can do is to pass laws and follow through by putting these people in prison and keeping them there.
Right.
Like I talked about last week about a person in my own family that was assaulted. The person pled. They were going to charge him with 60 years, but he pled for 20 because he knew he was going to go. Okay, he knew a jury was going to give it to him because there was a lot of proof. And so he pled, but guess what? 5 years. Now it's a little 4 years now. And she has to go back to court and beg for them not to let him out.
Wow.
She's the victim. See, that's what I'm trying to say. The victims aren't treated properly in our country. Okay. A victim shouldn't have to beg for them to uphold the law and keep a person in prison when they got 20 years. They should get 20 years. Simple things like that we can change and make a difference. Guess what? If you're in a state and it says on the wall at this restaurant that if you come in here, these people have concealed carry. They are allowed to have guns. So if you're going to go in there and rob, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're probably going to get shot because someone in there is more than likely has a gun. But when he says no gun zone, what do you think is going to happen when that guy goes in with a rifle? Nothing.
Oh.
He's going to shoot everybody. Just like what's happened in Uvalde, places like that. They know they're going to get away with it because it's just, and that's what hurts. That's why these people get away with it and keep doing it. That's why in the states where they don't have the death penalty or very strong laws against these things, you're going to have it prevalent. Okay. And that's what's sad. When you look around and you see a state like mine, I'm happy I'm in now. When she said no to Title IX, she told the president of the United States, we're not going to comply in this state of Arkansas. Fuck you. And I love that. I love that shit. Okay. It makes me proud, to have voted for her and to be there for her. And I went to a couple of her VIP events and things like that. And I'm thankful I did. Got to talk to her mom, which is named Janet, and her dad, and her husband and her friend that goes everywhere with her. And she's a good person, but we have to support them. We have to be there for them when they say, hey, we need you guys out there. We need you to come out and vote because we got to pass this thing. We got to pass this bill. And it's your state. Okay. Your state has the power in its own constitution to get things done for your state. The people in your state that are paying taxes, building those homes, working those jobs, building roads, whatever it is that you're doing for your city and your state and your towns, right? You should have the right to vote on it. It's federal government should be able to come in and say, well, we know your state said you can have marijuana, but we're going to come in and we're going to arrest every single person that's got marijuana. Well, they can't do that because we have a constitution that says they can't do that. But unless we back the constitution, it's just a piece of paper.
Exactly.
So us, the people, have to fight and take back our country from this corruption. And we can do it. It's gonna be a lot of work, but we can do it one state at a time, one person at a time in every state. Save our kids from bad people in their schools. Save them from traffickers, save them at bus stations, wherever they are, save them in the courthouse when the problems first start. Get them the therapy they need, things like that. Help these kids help themselves, and help the parents help their kids, the ones that are, that don't know what to do. They have no answers. Many times I've seen documentaries and stuff, and the parents were like, well, when this first happened, we went to the school and we told them, my daughter's being bullied at school, and these are the kids that are doing it. And she said that this teacher knew about it. And then they talked to the teacher, and the teacher says, yeah, but I didn't know what to do. Well, you should stop the bullying. Okay. The things and then the kid can commit suicide. Well, because nobody did anything. And that's wrong. Kids should always come first in a school. The teachers should come last after the students. If the student is having problems because they're being bullied, the teachers should step up and be teachers. Teach the kids, you're not bullying in this school. That kind of stuff. But, until we as parents say, fuck you to the bad teachers, you're fired. Excuse the language. Nothing's going to get better. It's up to us. So I think we can do it. I really do. I think with more and more people like us getting together and talking about it, and we all agree, we just don't agree on how to get to it, to get to the answers. So we have to sit down and talk about it, because we're not in lockstep like the liberals. Okay. There's like 10 liberals that run everything. Okay. The 10 big guys. And then they sit down and say, okay, the little people, you're going to do what we tell you. And they do it. They mind. They just, like robots, boy, they do anything they're told, and they do it to a T. That's why they're so good at everything they do, because they do it together. And we need to learn that. The reason it's hard for us is because we believe in freedom.
We're not a hive mind. There's no NPC.
But we believe in individual freedom. That's why it's hard for us.
That's why when I grew up, and basically it said, okay, everybody sit down Indian style, and everyone did. I went, what are you all doing? No, I'm sitting like a human being. And then it's like no. And I was a little kid and going, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going along. I'm not doing no team sports. I'm not doing anything like that. It's me. And I was defiant to the very end. No, that's why I'm saying it's like that's why the left loves this. That's why when they put the masks on, when they got the jab, when they do it, daddy government says, it's crazy.
Well, what is the main precept, if you will, about the left? They are, drum roll please, Marxists, and they believe in the collective. And there's something to be said about that. They that's why they want everything centralized, so they can control it all, because they're control freaks. They got some kind of issue going on there. So that is kind of part and parcel. They, like you said, Ruben, they have a hive mind. They are hive minded. We want to find that we as Americans see things like we all come together in the same umbrella, but we're individuals with the rugged individualism. Right. And I could tell you that I think that works to our advantage as well, because how many of us here, we don't define ourselves over, like Janet was saying, abortion. Okay. Now it's state of fact that to do it just to do it is the killing of an unborn child. But you got people who are pro-choice in our camp who are willing to go, okay, I'm pro-choice or pro-life. Hey, let's get past this shit. Let's fucking kill commies. All right. Let's take on the commies. So we do have, I'm trying to give some light at the end of the tunnel here, I guess. We do have that going for us, in which we can kind of dissect that, in which we kind of disagree on. We'll get back to later, because it's sort of, I don't want to call it window dressing, but it's a bit on the peripheral side, if you will, as opposed to the big issues, which are important, which are constitutional rights and the freedom and liberties of our country, our civil rights and whatnot. That's what defines us. Not whether we have, what defines these idiots is, these bizarre social issues and alleged eco concerns of which, I want clean drinking water and clean air as well. But those aren't things that are pertinent to the freedom of our nation. Even Alan Dershowitz has been honest enough to say, all these things that you want are on the left are really neat, but they're not amendments. None of that shit's in the Constitution. Your emissions and all this bullshit has not anything to do with running a nation. And it's all alleged as to whether it's, the global warming is happening. Maybe we can get into the measurements of the warming of the earth. Is it man caused? Man, there is absolutely no causality that can prove that. Now, should we work on trying to have clean air and clean water? Again, absolutely. But by the way, what does that have to? There's no way of correlating that to the actual issues of environmental issues. And by the way, what the fuck happened to the ozone hole? That was all the fucking rage back in the late 90s.
Yeah, but
Al Gore couldn't
you
shut
got to
the fuck
remember
up about
this
it.
too. They have Google has satellites out that record, like the chemicals and the heat index and all that stuff from over the big cities and stuff where the factories and stuff are. And you can get on there and you can zoom in different places like in India and stuff, and you can see garbage, piles and piles of garbage. But the thing is, we send money, our country sends money to India, to China, to Africa, to almost every country in the world to help them with picking up their garbage and their trash and all that stuff. And we also are the #1 country in the world for recycling, for clean air, for all the regulations and stuff that we have. But we're paying for everyone else to trash it.
Breaking news,
So-
breaking news, breaking
Yeah.
news.
What is
No,
it?
well, not really.
Oh.
I'm just saying. No,
Oh,
what I'm saying here. No, let me finish. What I'm saying. What I'm saying here is the way the United States operates and how they treat the environment. It's atrocious. How they treat people is atrocious. All the stuff they've been doing, and for them to come up with this is just totally disingenuous. It's just the point. It's like it's like the person who's it's like if the what is it? If the fire department was the arsonist as well. It's true.
It is. It's funny because it's true.
That's what they're doing. That's what they do. They cause the fire and then they go out there and fix it.
Because last week I played a video, and what was really funny is I played a video. It was 42 years old, and it was about how oil and gas industry was ruining the environment, and it was melting the ice caps basically. And they showed the map of the United States, and it showed all the coasts completely buried in water. Okay. And Florida was almost nothing but a sliver of land, right? And when I went back to look at the video, because I try to go back and read the chat again so I can see who's talking and that kind of junk. And it was funny is that there's a thing underneath my video from last Friday Night Shit Show talking about real global warming and all this other stuff. It was like because they couldn't do anything because it was their video. It was from CBS News 42 years ago. And the fact that I play all this stuff at the beginning now to show that we're going to talk about these things, and it doesn't mean it has anything to do with this channel, blah, 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 blah. It's our individual points of view on things. And, I'm trying to, limit the way that they can torture me to take my channel down, because I'm doing the best I can to try to show that we're just talking about it because we have the right to talk about these things. All these things affect us every day in our lives, and why would they want to stop us from being able to speak about it? And we're not hurting anyone, we're not showing nudity, we're not torturing anyone or anything. Well, hopefully. I mean, my voice isn't torturing people, but we're not breaking the law. So we're trying to do what's the best is give people information and let them make the decisions for themselves. But that's just the way it is. I mean, we just can take what we have and do the best we can with it. But the next thing I want to show everybody is opening up for the 2 gaffes. Remember I told you before we started, I have these 2 gaffes that I want to show with Biden. So before I do that, I want to show you this video I found on I think she's on TikTok, but I want to show this video real quick. Yeah, here we go. Because she's right. I agree with her. So I've been saying this for a while. So here we go. Let me turn it up and make it a little bigger.
Everybody is asking why the media and why the long arm of the swamp is suddenly now, just now, turning on Joe Biden when it's been years of these gaffes and these flubs. They haven't let him do a live press conference or a live debate in any sense. It's since he's been president. Everything's been scripted, everything's been edited, and we all know it, and they've so much as admitted it. They admitted it again last night. Or are they just now getting up there and letting him just fall all over himself? The theory is that they're realizing that they can't outvote Trump at this point. This is at a very high level, okay? There isn't enough bots, there isn't enough AI, there isn't enough editing that can be done for them to get in order for it to even look like he beat Trump. And with all the illegals coming in and voting, there's just not going to be enough. That might be like plan A, but I think plan B is waiting until after the ballots are printed. Between the time that the ballots are printed and Joe Biden's name goes on the ballot, okay, if something happens to him between the time his name's on the ballot and election day, then basically it is understood that anybody going to vote for Joe Biden is going to vote for whomever they decide to choose after the election. It's my understanding they don't even really need to tell anybody. It's just like a trust me, bro. They could run it on a vote for Joe Biden is a vote to save democracy, even though Joe Biden would be an illegitimate vote. Because according to the rules of the DNC and the RNC, you would vote for Joe Biden and then they would take that vote of his and they would put it towards whomever they chose. Could be Gavin Newsom, who nobody likes. Everybody's talking about Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama, and I just don't think that's it. I think it's Gavin. That's how they would do it. That's how they'd cheat. They don't have to tell you who they've picked until after the votes have been casted. It's just, trust me, we're gonna make sure we make the right decision. That is what's going to happen. And obviously, again, I don't have any proof of that, and I could be way wrong, but that's what I would do. I would spend the next couple months setting Joe up to look like he's going to have some medical emergency, but then not have that medical emergency happen until after the ballots are printed and his name is on the ballot. Then I would have a big campaign of vote blue no matter who. Remember that slogan?
Vote blue no matter who. That struck a chord with me. That sounds just like something they would do, right?
Because it is.
Yeah, because that's what they do. Just like I said, they're lockstep. One person or the top group of people, whoever that is, whoever's really running the show, because we know it ain't Joe, right? So whoever's doing that, they're going to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And you underlings go out and spread the word and get it done. That's what they're going to do. And basically what she said, every single thing she said, I know it was hard to hear, but that was as loud as I could get it, was true. So it doesn't matter who it is, because when they're counting the ballots and stuff, just like they did, they could just say, oh, it was whoever. So whoever they say his name was written on the ballot or whatever, unless we're working the polls, like I've been saying, I say all the time, sign up to work the polls. And if we have a butt in every seat, they can't cheat, right? Now, we can't do it in Oregon because I know Oregon's all mail-in ballots. So whoever's going to be there, they're going to be there to count them. I don't know how they do it any different, but there's not going to be anybody walking in and voting at any voting area. So I don't know how they're going to count, but probably just put them in machines and count them. But, there's nothing we can do about that. That's their state. Just like I said, they voted to do things that way in their state, and they have the right to do it that way.
Do it then, yeah.
And in my state, they do it the way that I'm, they count them. We have ballots and we have people that are sitting there in the chair, because I've done it many times for many different elections. And if people would sign up and work the polls at other elections, not just the presidential one, you would see differences. You would see changes. Some of these people who say, how do they keep winning? How are those people in office for 50 years? Well, that's why. When you go and sign up to work the polls, you might be the youngest person there. Everybody else is sitting there all asleep, right? Well, I hate to say that, but that's because nobody else is going. That's why they came up with the whole thing, how it was so easy for them to bring in all these machines. Because they just say, well, there's not enough people.
What's your name, Sonny? What's your name?
Not enough people to count the votes.
It's so funny.
That's how they got away with it. That's how they were able to get in all these machines in all the different states and all the big cities, because you and I didn't get off our ass and go work the polls. So we need to sign up and go do it. And if you have kids and you need a sitter, go to your church and say, hey, I need someone to help me babysit because I want to work the polls. Or let's get a group of us and work the polls, and I'll babysit for everybody who's gone, and I'll babysit here at the church. Things like that. We can do it. We can figure it out. If we all work together, we can figure something out so that everybody can be involved somehow. The little old mom that can't go because she can't stand that long or whatever, she can just make sandwiches for some people and take them and drop them off at the place where the kids are being babysat. I mean, there's just something for everyone if somebody wants to get involved and do something to help us take back our country. I mean, that's up to us.
That's exactly right. And I'm starting a new drinking game. Every time that Janet says work the polls, we take a drink. As we get closer to the election, we'll all get drunk.
At least a million times since last spring. I know
we'll all get drunk.
It's terrible, but
no, I'm fine.
Wait in 5 minutes.
If they wait until the ballots are printed for Joe Biden to have a medical emergency and need to be removed, then vote blue no matter who is going to be the Logan. I just want everybody to remember that, because I really, really think that's what they're going to do. So, okay, now here's one of the gaffes I want to show everybody up here. So let me, I just am shocked that people are not just going, what the fuck?
There's
okay. Oh, this is the wrong one. Shit. Hold on. This is the wrong one. We do the next one. I clicked on the wrong one.
The Zelensky Putin one?
Yeah, there's two of them, though. The one about screwing his wife.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah, here's this one. Okay, let me there's two different ones, and I want you to see both.
I realize I was talking to your wife. What? Your wife. I realize I was talking to your wife. What? I was talking to your wife. I realize I was talking to your wife.
Oh,
wait a minute. Wait.
What?
That happened.
But no, but I know it happened because I saw it happen right now again. But what was more eerie is his facial reaction after.
Yeah, he thinks it's funny.
Yes, it wasn't like it wasn't. I said something wrong. It was that I said something good.
Yeah.
So
he was happy he did it, because you got to remember, people with dementia are kind of deviant sometimes.
Then he apologized.
I don't know if you guys know anyone.
Then he apologized to the Secretary General guy for it. I can't tell if he's saying he's slurring, like mumbling and slurring like this. And he says, "I was talking to your wife."
Yeah, but
and
it sounds like
I'm fucking wife. Like, dude, enunciate your words.
Oh, okay. But here's the other one, and these are people that are in the crowd when he's doing that one speech. This is the other one. Now watch this. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh God.
Yeah, here we go. You ready? I think it turned up. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is.
But did you see that? They are humiliated.
That third guy in there? That's Sullivan?
This guy
he
here.
Looks like he's gonna cry.
But you can see all of them. Look how stone-faced they are.
Oh, no. His sphincter right now, Blinken's sphincter has got to be like, God.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're so used to him doing it. Look how much easier it's getting for them all to not react. No matter what he says, they just sit there stone-faced because they go, oh my God, this guy, we've got to get rid of him. I'm going to do it one more time so you can see it. But it's this.
And look at the lady. Look at the lady at the end also. Look at her.
Yeah, her.
Yes, watch her.
And, yeah, watch
and
this guy
yes.
and this guy. Yes. But even him, you can see his jaw tighten all of them.
They're trying to play poker.
Oh my God, we can't go 4 more years. This guy is not going to make it.
They're putting on their best
picked
poker
Vice
face.
President Trump to be vice president. That I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is.
It's ridiculous. And anyone that's still going to vote for this man on purpose because they hate Trump that much is an idiot, because they don't. All I think about, okay, and people keep saying we can't take him out of office because we'll have Camilla. I don't give a shit. Okay, because this guy can push the button whenever he's ready to start the war or whatever. But the thing is, I don't know exactly how it works. But what I'm saying is, every day this man, this incompetent man, is in office, it's risking our country for invasion, to go to war or something. I don't know, an attack. Okay, that might be how they get rid of him. Maybe somebody's going to blow up something huge, 5 or 6 of them, a coordinated terrorist attack. And then they'll say, well, we got to get Biden out of here. He didn't even know this was happening because the border's wide open. And then tell the people, you people, all of you got to help us get the right person in office, because it's not Biden. You see, I don't know what they're going to do.
Who do they have? They
have nobody, but it doesn't matter. They just have to act like they care. We didn't realize how bad he was. You know, we did try to cover for him because we didn't know what to do. You know, they'll apologize, and then they'll throw it all on Biden. See, it's all him.
Apology not accepted.
Then what happens? Then what happens?
Then we end up with Harris. Because right now that's what we're supposed to have. And then they'll pick up VP for her.
And then
she'll run for president against Trump.
Okay. So you think that she's going to run for president?
She's going to be in office as president from whatever Biden until January, when she hands the reins over to Trump. So they'll have under their belt, they're going to say, we're the first woman president. Yay! See, we want what's best for our country and for diversity. See, that bullshit. But they're going to be able to say that forever. It's going to be in the history books. The very first woman president was a Democrat. And that's what they think about. They win. That's a win-win for them.
I think it'll be so underwhelming in such a case. Like Kamala doesn't.
It doesn't matter if it's so underwhelming, because
when you're talking about, a fucking bookmark. Who cares? Like she is a footnote at best. I don't think she'll.
And just think about it. All our great grandkids are going to be going to school, and they're going to learn. Guess what? Kamala Harris was the first woman president.
I think it'll be forgotten about. I really do. It'll be irrelevant. I really do. I think she's such a.
Every day they're tearing down statues, and they're letting these Islam lovers, loving people that are killing people in Gaza and all that. What is that group called again?
Hamas.
Okay, they're letting them run around and block streets and vandalize and tear down statues and put graffiti on them and stuff. Okay, but you'd be arrested if you tried to do something like that with their flag or whatever. They put a woman in prison for praying in front of an abortion clinic. Okay, see, it's totally opposite. So they can do whatever they want, and then you're going to go to jail, and they're going to take your house and everything else away from you. Just like all the January 6th people that are still sitting in prison, even though SCOTUS ruled that some of the things that they were put in jail for was illegal, that they didn't have the right to do that. But I don't see shit about happening with that. Have you? In 3 weeks? Nothing. Crickets. I don't hear my frog singing right now. But basically, here, I got this. I forgot.
Well, yeah.
I forgot I had that soundboard with some stuff on it. I always forget to use it. But yeah, to me, it's disgusting. It's like disgusting. You said, Janet. It's like you said earlier. Our Lady Liberty is like this. We are at the bottom.
Pretty much. It's like you said earlier. The laws are only, who was it? It was a Roman philosopher, was it Tacitus or Seneca? One of them said laws do not persuade simply because if they're not followed, but it comes down to the fact that they're only as strong. The Constitution is only as strong as we, the people, as you said, enforce it and allow it to be such. And right now, because we have a we have a tyrannical in basis a tyranny, a soft tyranny. I call it the tyranny of the weak, because we got weaklings in there who couldn't throw a friggin' softball without breaking a wrist. But they're in power. All right, the bank geeks are telling the football players what to do. All right, nothing against bank geeks, but that is kind of like the analogy I'm trying to make. The SCOTUS has come out with all kinds of rulings. Look at the student loan forgiveness thing, right?
And Biden said,
you know what kills me is get on his ass.
To you taxpayers.
They need to come. The GOP, which really is they're a bunch of milquetoast douchebags. But Trump has to come out with that Thor's warhammer and pound him over the head with it and tell him, "Hey, bitch, you're violating the U.S. Constitution."
Okay, see this little purse? This is where all the balls of Congress are right now, and the senators. I got all their balls in my purse. That's why they're not doing shit, because Nancy Pelosi has their balls in her purse. That's why they're letting in.
I think balls are not only that, just they got a bunch of fucking low T assholes in there who
I don't know what it is.
Don't know how to
burgers or something. But I have this other video.
Starting with Mike Johnson.
But this, I think, is important. This is the thing I was telling you about. I think it's about the something to do with with stocks or something. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure.
Or FINRA's corporate action or corporate.
How to make it bigger when it looks like this. I don't know how. I just don't know how to do it.
Just go down a little bit more. Click
Click here.
Her
FINRA
corporate action or corporate action, right? That came out. Basically, what that means is MMTLP is being deleted as a ticker after the trading day on the 12th. So it's deleted on the 13th, right? And so that means that you no longer are reporting trade in MMTLP after that date. And so the MMTLP, as of the end of trading on the 12th, will no longer be on the OTC markets.
And that's the most important point to come across here. If you are holding these shares on the OTC markets, guys, again, end of trading on the 12th. It's coming off of the OTC. There's also a deadline that I saw in this press release of the 12th as well. So any shareholders on record as of the 12th will be involved in this NextBridge hydrocarbons transaction. So the 12th, obviously, the most important date.
So they said the 12th, but the controversy here is that they halted right on the 9th. How is this happening? Like, how do we have regulatory agencies that are supposed to be regulating and protecting people from things like this happening, and then there doesn't really seem to be any regulation really going on?
I can tell you now, they didn't just wake up one day and decide they were going to do this to one security and they were never going to touch any other security. If you have $1 in any security in the United States stock market, you are at risk. Now, the difference between this situation and those other situations is that we are actually frozen in time, which means that we can actually get the share count, get the data, ascertain the imbalance, and stop something like this from ever happening again. But as long as these practices continue to go on Wall Street, your 401k, your IRA, your investments, your savings, all of them are at risk. We've been asking for a share count going on a year now, and they have refused to provide us that. And that is the most basic thing to ask for. We're not asking for identities. We're just asking for numbers. And an organization that's supposed to provide transparency to the investing public has refused to give us even a share count. So I think that says a lot in and of itself. All I'm going to say is we're still waiting for our share count. And we're not going anywhere till we get it.
Some people will say, I don't know what you're complaining about, because everybody knows that when you invest your money into the stock market, your return isn't guaranteed, and that you could always run the risk of losing your entire investment.
So I can appreciate the inherent risk that comes along with investing in the stock market. If I invest in a company and the company goes bankrupt, that's on me. But if I invest in a security that is set to spin out, and the brokerage, the regulator, and the vice president of the market where it is trading all tell me that I have until December 12th to close my position, only for them to halt it on December 9th within 48 hours of that statement being made. Inherent risk is not supposed to mean that I have until the 12th to sell, only to wake up on the 9th and find out that I'm halted. I'm sorry, I don't accept that as an answer for those reasons.
Wall Street has figured out a way, ladies and gentlemen, to make more money killing companies than building them. This is simply stealing. That's what it is. At its base level, it's people stealing money, stealing jobs, hurting companies.
The Wall Street Journal dissed the shareholders of MMTLP, suggesting that the trading halt was their fault because it's a risky stock. Is it the role of FINRA and the SEC to stop stocks trading arbitrarily because they think they're risky? That's not their role. How can people trust the stock market?
FINRA has immunity, but they are the regulator that is tasked with overseeing all of this. And every time we go after them with a legal effort, they say, nope, we have absolute immunity. The crazy thing about this is I shouldn't have to sue the United States Army to protect me against a foreign invasion. We are literally having to take legal actions against FINRA to do the very thing that they are supposed to do. And they haven't done.
My next guest sent a letter to Gary Gensler, chair of the SEC, and Robert Cook, CEO of the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, it's also known as FINRA. He's asking both organizations to review events that are surrounded in Metamaterials Series A preferred shares, we know as MMTLP. Joining me now is South Carolina Congressman and member of the House Financial Services Committee, Representative Ralph Norman.
The MMTLP situation is unique in that if we actually get a share count and we expose this practice, obviously the next logical question for our legislators is, how did this happen and what legislation do we have to pass so that the regulatory framework does not allow for the wealth of the American public and hardworking people across the world that invest to have their money stripped from them.
It's a scandal. It's financial terrorism, in my opinion. And I'm really shocked that the mainstream media isn't talking about this more. And it's been kind of under wraps.
All I'm going to say is we're still waiting for our share count. And we're not going anywhere till we get it. FINRA and the SEC, you better get on the horn and resolve this thing with NextBridge Hydrocarbons, because we are not going anywhere until this is resolved.
So have you guys heard anything about that? Are you guys into the stock market or anything?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I mean, I have.
I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah, I don't do it, but to know that the people that are supposed to make sure it's safe aren't doing their job, and the other people are having to step in and do it. Can't force them to do anything because they have immunity. It sounds a lot like the immunity that we supposedly handed out to all the companies that were making the jab, that we can hold them accountable when they made something that was not fit for human consumption, basically, type of thing. Sounds a lot like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What if they? Yeah, because what if they basically say that all savings and 401ks have been drained completely? They could do that.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. Here's the other video. That was that one. Here's the next one.
Craig Dubb says, I want to publicly thank Chris for not only supporting the suffering MMTLP community, but giving us full access to his contacts in Washington. He's a man of the people. 100 plus congressmen have signed on.
Yes, I'll actually talk about that. So that came up for a minute. So, you hear a lot about the stock market manipulation happen with AMC and with GameStop. Well, you really the one that has the evidence, the one that would be the smoking gun, if you will, is MMTLP. So this is a dividend stock who went on the OTC and traded for a little while against the company's will, and then eventually was to be by FINRA announced on December 6, 2022, that on December 12th it was going to stop trading and go private again. Okay, well then on the 7th, OTC, the vice president of OTC, backs up that same thing, saying you got to December 12th. Sell your shares, get your money out. Okay. Then on December 8th, FINRA again backs up that same statement. December 12th, it will go off being publicly traded. Then all these people, 65,000 shareholders, wake up on December 9th with the trade halted and all their money gone.
Wow.
And we have reached out to members of Congress. Congressman Mooney here in West Virginia has been a big help with this. I helped with 15 of these 100 signatures personally. So we have about 25% of Congress demanding answers, wanting FINRA to release a share count here, just audit this thing. And, you know, we talk about having free and fair markets. Well, how about a free and fair stock market where people, everyday people like us, can invest their way to their American dream without these hedge funds doing naked shorting and getting these regulatory agencies to do these, you know, these unfair halts, taking your money. It's robbery. It's Robin Hood in reverse.
How did you get interested in this or learn about it?
I actually learned about it through X, through Twitter. You know, I was running for office. Some people reached out to me. You know, I always try to help people where I can. You know, people reach out to me about an issue. I always try to research it and try to help as many people as I can. What even elected office yet? You know, I'm not even sworn in technically yet. And, you know, and I see an opportunity to make a difference. And, you know, I have, you know, through helping President Trump's campaigns and the Tea Party movement, I know some people in DC. So, you know, when people presented me with an issue, I started calling these congressmen like, hey, have you heard about this? They're like, no. So then I get, you know, some people like Drew Diligence is what he goes on Twitter. His name's Drew. He has to give me some evidence. Let's get some stuff together. Let's start having some, you know, phone calls and some Zoom calls with some of these congressmen, you know, Sessions and Mooney and Eli Crane and Matt Gaetz. Some others have been very vocal on this, and it's becoming a bipartisan issue. And it's actually, you know, gives you a little bit of glimmer of hope. We talk about the two-party system and how they're at odds with each other. It's amazing, you know, the 100 members of Congress we have, it's not all one party. So, I mean, it does give you a little bit of glimmer of hope that you see a little bit of bipartisanship going on. But, you know, we're 18 months into this and it's not been resolved. And we have to resolve this stuff so we can, you know, have free and fair stock markets, because it is the amount of money that's been stolen from these people and the amount of suffering they've been through. It's inexcusable. I mean, this is so unconstitutional on so many levels.
It's very cool that you took that on.
Right.
Well, I thought that was very interesting because I hadn't heard about it. I haven't heard anybody talking about it on the news. Have you guys?
Not this part.
So the thing is that if they can do whatever they want with our money, with our property, with our bodies, I mean, what freedom do we have? You know, what do we have for being in America that makes us free, that separates us from other countries? I mean, think about it. What is there? With all the stuff that we talked about tonight, there isn't much. We're hanging by a thread, people. Our rights and our freedoms are hanging by a thread under this administration. I mean, this is it. I really believe that if we don't,
I'll go even one step further. This society is causing this. We have to accept responsibility. Look at the mirror. Everything is happening because we let it happen to ourselves.
Amen.
I'm dealing with my things, but I know there's a lot of problems. I could fix it. I would want to do more, but I had to help myself first. And it's very, very difficult to do, but that's what I want to do. Janet, you're doing the best you can going to the polls, you know, and then, you know, old school Yankee, I don't know what you're doing, but again, we're here now talking to each other about this. And that's what we have to do. We have to take that to turn that into action. And that action starts with doing things we have to do, step it up every single day. And that's what we have to do. And it's just frustrating, but we got to keep on pushing it. Freedom is so important. And, you know, like FNT, the Friday Night Tights, they're now going on Rumble now, doing more on Rumble the last 2 weeks. And I want to start doing more on Rumble myself as well, and X as well. I got that get that taken care of. We have to keep pushing for our freedoms every single day.
Yep.
Never stop.
But the thing is, we are now the citizen journalists. Okay. Just like that gentleman in the second interview that we just saw, he said he found out on Twitter or on X. Okay. And I'm finding out more and more on X. I listen to the radio. I watch television some. And The news isn't talking about any of this shit. They don't talk about, okay, there used to be news when I was a kid. I remember my parents would turn on the news and they're like listening, glued to the TV, because it was like every hour or whatever, they would update everything, all the new stuff, right? And now it's all commentary now. It's just so-and-so talking about this, or they're talking about that, or this, and the who got married, and you know, what stars are doing this, that, and the other. And that's basically all they talk about. You know, Megan and her husband, you know, Harry, you know, shit like that. You know, that isn't news. I mean, when they're talking about Ukraine, okay, I never saw one reporter embedded in with a group of people that were at war. I never saw shit. All I saw were people partying in clubs, people buying new cars, people taking trips, all on our dollars, our trillions of dollars, and we're trillions of dollars in debt. Our great grandchildren are in debt and they haven't even been conceived yet.
Right.
And people are not thinking about that. You know, they just get up and they do this and do that. And you wonder why everything's so expensive. Well, it's more expensive because we have a shitty economy, because people are losing their jobs. Businesses are closing. Okay, because this dumbass president is a dumbass. I mean, he stops drilling. We closed down all the nuclear power plants in California, yet they bitch and moan saying they want everyone to be on electric cars. I mean, nothing makes any sense. It's like we live in clown world, like people have been saying. This is all ridiculous. We're not allowed to drill oil off of our shores, but China's out there drilling like crazy. And
Did you see the video of the Tesla electric stations that were powered by a diesel generator?
Oh, yeah, with the gas powered generators. Yeah, I saw that. It's ridiculous. But I also saw this. I think I showed it on one of the Friday Night Shit shows. Was one of the stupid things that was going on. Like, remember the little package delivery things that were going down the street, and the people were just opening and taking the packages out and walking off. They, you know, them thinking that that's going to work in the city. Well, and then it was another one. It was a guy had one of those stations in his driveway up near his house where you could plug in your car and charge it. And he went out, and some lady had pulled in and was charging her car in his driveway with his electricity.
Yes. Yeah.
And he turned it to the police, and they said they couldn't have her arrested.
Not to ask this existential question per se, because I had this thought today, and you reminded me right now, because again, what happened, what you reminded us happened. It was in San Francisco with the delivery robots, and I have never consciously and never have even thought of saying any, like talking to Alexa or Google or Siri and say something vulgar or say something, you know, negative to it. And I've heard people do that. Do you think that happens and people there is some consequence to that, even people just even saying the things in the negative to AI?
Maybe AI is going to hate us, hate humans. Humans
like
are our problems.
Like the Chinese credit system. Like if you say bad stuff and you know they pick up on that, or walking on eggshells. Don't do that. Don't say that.
Yeah. But the one thing, but again, that's basically that of itself will happen because of how you so your social credit score, who you talk to, where you visit, where you shop, and that will be an algorithm, so it'll know the kind of person you are, and it'll try to
China.
Yeah, they're doing it now in China.
Use your debit card and buy anything online, like you say you want to buy condoms or lube, lingerie, and all that stuff. They know that what you're buying, just like there was a movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was a movie and someone bought the movie or the book, something, I'm trying to remember the name of the book, I can't remember it's that second, but as soon as it was sold, Catcher in the Rye, Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This thing went off, and it was letting the government know that someone bought this book, so they got to find out who it is. Okay, I can't remember the name of the movie, but that kind of thing. I honestly believe the government can do that. They know I didn't have a jab.
It was me.
They know that I'm one of the people that's going to be a problem. And just like I said, I'm going to die on my front porch holding my gun, defending what little I got. And that's why I tell people, don't leave your homes. If there's something does happen, if some big riots start breaking out or something, don't leave your homes. Protect your homes, because they want you to leave. They want you to go to the city. They want you to do something, because whatever's left, guess what? The victor gets the spoils. So all these people they've brought in over the border, you have a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, 5 families can fit in there. That's what they'll do. And they're all new taxpayers.
Janet?
Yeah.
Let me just put it this way. This is my philosophy on that. I will die on, and I think a lot of Americans will agree with me, I will die on this hill. I will burn the damn mother effing house down with me in it if I have to. I don't want to. You know, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want, I've said before, you know, that speech where William Wallace says that, you know, you think I want war, I just want to be left the fuck alone to, you know, take care of my family and my farm. You know, I just want the English to go back to fucking England. That's where I'm at, but you're not getting my blood. You're not getting my DNA. You're not getting shit from me. That's non-negotiable. And by the way, when you said that Biden was a dumbass, yeah, he is, but he's more of just a dumbass, just like the rest of all the other Democrats. He's an asshole. They know what they're doing. They know that they're screwing up America. They don't care. And as a matter of fact, they care enough to hate this country that much, because you and I are this country, and they hate us and they want to hurt us. That is what it comes down to.
When you fight back and they get to say, well, you broke the law, just like the January 6ers. So they take your home, they take everything and make you where you have nothing. Okay. I'm using you as an example.
I'm dying here.
Then they put you in one of the 15-minute cities, and you have one vehicle for every 3 families, and you have to share it. Okay, to save on electricity, save on gas, whatever. And basically, that's what they want. They want everyone to live in a big commune, the United States commune, and everything else is off limits, because it's all owned by the government. So, you know, that's what they want. Total control over you. Just like they said, you'll have nothing and be happy.
Before that happens to me, I'm going to reenact the end of Scarface as Tony Montana. All right, that's how I'm going down. That's it.
Well,
I don't want to, but I
have something I want to play. I put it on here so I don't have to bring it up or present it or anything. I have it as a video. I'm going to play every single Friday Night Shit Show. So I'm going to play this real quick for everybody, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever? Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order. These allegations are false. Weapons of mass destruction. The USA Patriot Act. The blueprint for large corporations.
We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Donald Trump confirmed that he is considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
He will never be President of the United States.
Donald Trump
will never be elected President of the United States.
People are watching these results come in.
We are going to make this decision now. Donald Trump will be the 45th President of the United States.
The
Does it ever seem to you that President Trump has done more than any president in modern history?
And in the 10 years I've been involved in politics, I've never seen an administration hit the ground running like this.
I could spend the rest of the hour laying out the accomplishments under the Trump presidency, despite everything thrown at him.
Market just had its 12th straight record close.
Taking action to save as many kids as they can.
We were energy independent under the Trump administration.
More Americans reported being employed than ever.
Helping those who have served our country in the military to get access to mental health care.
The Great American Outdoors Act is the largest single piece of legislation to support our national parks and public lands.
Created more than 7 million good-paying jobs.
Websites can be held liable in court for having sex trafficking content.
The Abraham Accords, which for any other president would have been multiple peace prizes.
America did not enter into a foreign war.
The employment rate in the U.S. fell to 3.5%.
The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders.
Increased funding for historically black colleges and universities.
Allows terminally ill patients easier access to experimental drugs.
Kept the inflation rate low.
Honored with the Bipartisan Justice Award.
Had a massive MS-13 gang problem. 3.9% is the unemployment rate. Requiring airports to provide lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers.
Middle class family income increased nearly $6,000.
A dramatic escalation in his crackdown on illegal immigration.
An advocate for educational choice.
Tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
An act preventing animal cruelty and torture.
Taking out Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Save Our Seas Act commitment to environmental issues.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Community development in low-income urban and rural communities.
Help us to remember the importance of fighting off tyranny.
Pulling out of UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accords, reassessing NATO and the United Nations.
Stood up for Christianity and the Constitution more than any president in American modern history.
We are stopping the attacks on Judeo-Christian values. Do you miss me yet?
Awesome. I love this video. I was like, I saw it and I'm going to play it every week. Every single Friday, I'm going to play it because it shows you everything he did without help, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine what he can accomplish if he had a Congress and a Senate that, you know,
just having all of the people that are going to vote for him this time, knowing what he's done and how much shit that he went through. I mean, they tried to get rid of him through lawfare. They tried to bankrupt him. They've tried everything except for, even I think it was Dan Bongino said that he knew of like 18 attempts to take him out. So, and I'm sure there's more than that. So I'm just saying, this guy didn't take any money. He didn't take any money. He did. Nope. He worked as president for 4 years and didn't get a dime. Mm-hmm. Besides us flying him around and stuff like that. And he did all that for us and for our country. Yep. Pulled us out of the climate accord. He made all China and all them pay tariffs, because if they were charging us tariffs, he made them pay tariffs to send us stuff. Because I have relatives that live in Norway, and they said that getting a Happy Meal is like almost $50. You know, just meals like that, real American meals, not fish burgers and things like that they're used to. A pack of cigarettes with 10 cigarettes in it's like $20.
Holy crap!
American made. Okay,
are you for real? A Happy Meal is like $50.
Yeah, she took her kid to eat. It was $50 with a Happy Meal in McDonald's in Norway. So what I'm saying is they do that because people will pay more for American stuff. Okay, but when they send it to us, we don't put tariffs on anything, which is bullshit. And I thought what Trump did was great. He helped our country. He helped bring more jobs. Instead of us sending our shit over there to get made, why shouldn't we pay Americans to make it here? We should be able to make all of our own medicine, grow all of our own food to feed everyone in the United States of America. We have from one side of our country to the other, we have all the land and temperatures we need to grow anything we need.
Yep.
We have tropical all the way to cold, frozen stuff. We can do all of it, but we don't because it's cheaper to make it in China or in Taiwan.
China.
You know, it's dumb. It's not smart. We could drill all of our own oil and refine it right here in our country. We can grow rice and corn and soy, beef, chicken, eggs. Everything we need is here. We can make it ourselves.
Again, Janet, that's because there's an agenda to destroy America.
That's right.
So it's not about not just
They're
dumbasses.
gutting our country. They're gutting us from the inside
assholes. You have assholes. The Democrats are the puppets of the globalist, movement that you have here. That Illuminati. What was that? That was creepy.
I said the Illuminati.
Yeah, he said the Illuminati is what it sounded like.
Damn, that was quite satanic. But yeah, I mean it's all on purpose. So it's like the only thing that makes them dumbasses. All right, when you call them dumbasses, you are correct. What makes them dumbasses is that they think we're stupid, that we're not paying attention, that they think. And the only ones, and they're pissed off because we're waking up. A lot of us are waking up. And the only ones they got left are the morons are going to keep on voting for them because they are the people. When you watch documentaries about North Korea and you see the willy-nilly idiots that walk in lockstep like the sheeple that go from they go from they get transported through what's the name of it, Pyongyang. You ever see those documentaries and it's North Koreans moving in groups to work and to here? It's like they're on a guided tour, but they're not. They're like robots. You see them go down in the metro and they come back up, and that's your Democrat voter. That is in essence your Democrat voter. It's like free shit, good. Wear a mask, good. Vaccine, good. Do what government says, good. Because you don't believe in the Almighty, so you have to defer to something that guides you. Because you have no actual core, you fill it with this emptiness, which is flawed, which is government, man-made. That's the issue, and they know that, and they manipulate that because that's what the globalists do. Because they're assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's 100%. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up tonight to hang out with us, listen to our rants about the government. Hopefully, I'll have a channel tomorrow. We'll find out. But if I don't, you'll know why. You have to just come see me on X and on Rumble if YouTube takes us down because they didn't like something we said tonight. But I'm just letting you know, it's not because we don't want to be here. It's because they don't want us to be here. That's what it would be. So we get taken down. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with me. And I want to thank both you guys for wanting to be on the show with me. I really, really appreciate it because, I can't help it. I rant a lot. I like to talk. I had 4 sisters, so we all talked all the time. Bruce has been on a show with me with 2 of my sisters. So we had 3 sisters on one show. And he said, wow, it was hard because we just talk over each other, but we can understand what each of us are saying because, when you want to say something, you got to say it. If you don't say it, you're not going to be heard. So, but yeah, Bruce thought that was awesome. But I asked Sandy and I asked Jennifer both to see if they wanted to join tonight, but both of them were busy doing other things already. So. Oh, well, I try a lot because I know everybody seems to like when I have my sisters on here.
Yeah, they're nice.
But I can't do anything if they're not interested. They're just not into it as much as I am. They're they're boring. No, I'm just kidding. But I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I really, really appreciate it because without you guys, there's no reason for us to do it if nobody wants to listen. But Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And tomorrow I will be playing Dungeons and Dragons with Bruce. He's our dungeon master. And then Sunday we'll be watching the movie Screamers. I've never seen it, so I have no idea what it's about robots or something, spiders or something that kill you.
Oh, you know that with Tom Selleck a long time ago?
I don't know, maybe, but we're going to be watching it in Bruce's Discord. So if you want to watch it tomorrow at around noon, is probably we'll do it. Send me a DM on Twitter, and I will send you an invite to Discord so you can watch it with us in there. And then after that, then we'll do the movie. We'll do the review on it afterward at around 2. So if you want to hang out with us, you're all welcome. It's fun and we enjoy it. I mean, it's fun to sit around with a bunch of your friends and watch a movie. Especially, I haven't seen it, so I have no idea what's going to happen in it. But I got to get online tomorrow and start looking at some outfits and see if I can figure out a costume or something for somebody in that movie, a theme at least. But what do you got planned, Ruben?
Nothing right now. I've just been monitoring what's going on with the election, going to see what's going on there. And if anything pops up, I'll do something. But right now, I'm since I continue to heal up and just, in the continued prayers. I'm going through a healing process still right now. It gets tiring sometimes. Yeah. And this is one of those moments I'm very tired. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight.
Yes.
I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you very, very much for our guest, our special guest tonight. Since Orange Hat was gone, I asked Old School Yankee, hey, you want to hang out with us tonight on the Shit Show? And he said, yeah. So I just want to say thank you. Do you have any plans that you're going to be doing this weekend?
Just chilling with family, taking it easy, going to church on Sunday. I got the summer off until, school kicks back in for us here in Florida in August. So
end of August, yeah.
No, like the beginning of August, because I guess we got to make up for a case.
Well, I'll be coming to Florida. Do you know where Davie? I think it's Davie, Florida. That's where I'm going to be going.
Davie, Florida. That sounds familiar, but
I know it's above Miami, but that's all I know.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I'm going to be flying there because I'm going to be babysitting 2 beagles.
Oh, beagles are the best. I love beagles.
Yeah, so
I've
we
had
walk
beagles
every day and stuff, but I'll be there for almost a week and a half.
You're flying into Miami?
No, I'll be flying in near wherever as close to Davie as I can get.
Okay. Don't fly. Just try to stay away from Miami. I
was going to drive, but it would take me almost, over 2 full days of driving to get there. So I was like,
you're in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Ozarks.
Yeah, you're
I mean, it's over a 2.5 hour drive just to get to the airport from where I'm at.
Good Lord, woman, okay.
Yeah, it's nowhereville. Believe me, there's
you're
nothing.
Exactly where you need to be when the zombie apocalypse happens.
Yeah, so but that's where I'm at. But I just want to say thank you to everybody again, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and be good patriots. God bless America.
Amen.
God